We got today the Knight of Pentacles front and center. It's so funny how tarot works. Um, it is a lot of chance related synchronicities that happen when you read cards, but when you read with 9 different decks and they all pop out the Knight of Pentacles, it's funny. So there's a lot of thinking about stability right now with you, a lot of thinking about money. There's money all around this Knight. He is completely fixated on how to get the coin. He is almost hyper focused on it. There's a pinpoint of attention, right? When you focus in really hard on something, your pupils don't dilate, they actually constrict because you're focusing in on one little point, right? It's like tunnel vision. Instead of looking at the whole picture when your pupils are large, you take in more of the picture, you take in more light. You're hyper focused right now on one thing and one thing only, and that is stacking your coins. It also could be a little bit of too much thinking about it. So we'll pull some more cards to see what's going on with this, but it can go either way. When we're in a place where we are very in need, let's say, of finding opportunity, finding work, you have to be a little bit, you have to teeter on the edge of craziness, right? You have to be a little bit crazy, not in a toxic way, but in a hyper focused way to attain any kind of dream, especially a hard one, or even if the dream is just to get out of whatever situation you're in. You have to stay hyper focused on the goal. You have to visualize the goal on a daily basis. You have to act and talk as if you already have the goal. It's not like, I wish, I can't wait till I feel this, or I can't wait until I know what it feels like to be like this. No, no, no. It's, I am this and I feel this right now. You call in the energy that you are looking to attain. And it's a little crazy to certain people because it's a way of thinking that maybe you've never thought about thinking before. There's different strategies to thinking, just like there's different strategies to breathing. We all can breathe unconsciously, right? We're beings that we breathe on a daily basis. How many times did you think about your breath today? We don't usually think about that unless we are trying to stay attuned to that, because we can consciously change our breathing patterns. And our breathing patterns, whether we're trying to do it to slow down or speed up, they're effective. Think of Lamaze when someone is having a baby. You are taught different breathing patterns for pain. You're taught different breathing patterns to slow down, maybe late at night when you're trying to fall asleep. There's different breathing patterns where you exhale longer than you inhale. You slow down your nervous system. Then there's other breathing exercises, thinking like if you are jogging or running, you start to inhale faster at a faster pace, right? So when you start inhaling faster and exhaling faster, like a train almost, that speeds up your nervous system and gets you hyped up, gets you alert, just like you're running. It has the same effects as you running on your lungs and you actually running. So you can sit and practice a certain fire breath, they might call it, and there's different breathing techniques. So it's all about, what are we focusing on to get where we need to go. You have a goal, you have somewhere where you are trying to get to, you're hyper focused on money, jobs, whatever it is right now. What do you need to do to get there? How many people do you have to contact on a daily basis to get there? Even if it's just finding a job, 444 on the clock. It's about change, right? You have to go after what you want. You can't just sit and wait, because life is not going to give you what you want by just sitting there. So either way, going back to the beginning, it can go either way with this. It can be selfish, where you don't think about anyone else but your wallet, or you could just be hyper focused, where you are trying to get, achieve a goal. And that's not easy right now. So let's see what's going on around this night. We have the Hierophant and we have the Devil. It's an interesting duo. It's an interesting duo. It's like on each shoulder. You have two constricting points of view. You're pulled in two different directions. One way is up and the other way is down. It's hard to stay in a place where you are feeling good. The Hierophant, there's stairways to heaven, to the light, to inner knowing, to enlightenment. He's sitting in lotus pose. He has a huge smile on his face. He's looking up. There's lots of thoughts and mystical feelings around him. He's truly encapsulated, I want to say, in his way of being, in his way of thinking. He's attached to the light and looking up. He's looking up constantly. And when you practice that, even when you don't feel like it, that's the real takeaway here is like we can all meditate, we can all practice a skill, a craft when we feel like it. That's easy because we want to do it. We want to eat cake. We want to whatever, right? But when you are faced with something that you don't want to do, that's where actual discipline comes in here. Are you going to take the easy road? Are you going to take the dark road? He's kind of like, hey, take my hand. It's super easy, right? It's super easy over here. All you got to do is just give me your soul. That's all. It's for a little bit of comfort, right? This person, you might feel like the easy way out is the easy way out. And I'm telling you that there's always catches with that. It's never easy. The devil never gives you an easy way out. It's a trick, and it's always a trick. If it's too good to be true, unfortunately, it usually is, because good things take hard work. That's what makes them good. That's what makes you excited when you achieve something like that, because it took a long time to achieve that. Success wasn't overnight in this scenario. Whatever scenario you're thinking about right now, you know, like, do you take the hard road and go after something in through the path of light? Or do you take the downstairs route? Because you think it's going to be easier, but I'm telling you, everybody thinks it's going to be easier to go downstairs. It's never easier. It's a facade. The devil works in shadows and mirrors and facades. It's all a scam. Ten of Pentacles. Can't make it up. So you are highly attuned with your stability right now. Definitely your money, but the Ten of Pentacles means more than money. It means security with family, with wealth, of course, but also with family and love. When you feel secure in your family life, you actually do better in your career, because it's giving me having a secure attachment to your family. When you grow up in a family that makes you feel secure, where you're safe, you are more likely to explore the world with a sense of safety inside of you, knowing that whatever happens is okay. I could just come home. I have a safety net. I have a home base. You walk around. These types of people walk around with a little bit more of a secure attachment in life. Like whatever they do, they explore more, because there's no there's a downside to everything, and they can make mistakes and get into trouble, but they know deep down inside that there's always a family waiting on the other side. They have a net catching you. Like, you won't ever fall and hit the ground, the cold dark ground by yourself. 10:01 on the clock when I saw that, right? When you, like, some people don't have a safety net, and when they fail, they hit the cold ground, right? And no one's there to pick them up. So, um, I don't know why I'm getting there, but I guess you're since this is in the north, like you are torn between two paths of going about this, but ultimately what you're thinking of is the Ten of Pentacles and the lifestyle that comes along with that. And how do you get that? That's usually through the lighter way of going through two things, right? You can't cheat your way and manipulate your way into the Ten of Pentacles. If you do, it's still a facade. You can buy a family, you can buy a wife that pretends to love you, because you think she's hot. Some guys just think like it's so easy to find someone to connect with. They're usually like player types of people that they just go through people like a deck of cards. It doesn't matter who you are. It's just like frivolous behavior, always wanting something new. It's like an exploring type of thing, but they never really treat people with respect because they weren't really looking for that in the beginning. They're just looking for entertainment. Um, so those types of people later on in life, they're going to, they might be like, oh, well, I want a family and I do want this, because they're tired and they're old and they realize that they can't be a player anymore as much as they used to be, maybe. Um, and then they start looking around for a partner. But then they finally start to realize how difficult it is to actually connect with a human being on a deep level. Like we all can love one another and connect with people, but to really find someone, that you can share your heart with doesn't come around easy, just like how they were treating people easily, like dolls, right? Like when you finally start to look inside of people in their hearts and their minds and try to connect and, try to find love, it's not going to be so simple. So sometimes these player types, they wait, they get old, and they just pick the next available female around them. It's good enough. It's good enough. She's good enough on paper. She'll take care of me. She'll be my mommy, and then they never really fall in love with her either. They never give themselves a chance to actually like lead with their heart in life. And ultimately they bought the Ten of Pentacles in a fake facade way again, right? Like they just bought the outside appearance of a family, but inside they don't feel secure still. They still feel empty, right? So they just go back to treating women or humans like just objects again, because it always was that for them. So that's one side of the story. I don't know why I went into that tangent, but other side is like you're constantly like searching for higher things, higher light, higher relationships, true relationships in any kind, whether platonic or love based. You know, if you do that throughout your entire life and you try to find special connections, you'll realize obviously that it doesn't come around a lot. And it's special because it doesn't happen a lot. So when you find people along your journey, treating people kindly, with respect, like actual human beings with feelings, whether or not you are with a bunch of people or not doesn't matter, but you always treated people with, you looked at people with depth. You treated each human being with respect, whether or not you decided to be with them or not. You treat them as a heart with feelings and a past and hurts and pains and wants and dreams like everyone else. But you realize the depth that it takes to get to the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is a heavy card. It's not easy to get to, and some people never get there, because it does take a lifetime to kind of build, because you build it with yourself first and how you think about things. You have to believe it and think it before it exists. A lot of people are like, I'm going to be a player, and then one day some magical unicorn is going to come into my life and just change my mind. she's going to change my mind about how I feel about life. And maybe that happens, but it was never really the woman still. A lot of guys get this twisted, like they're like 45 years old, they're going after a 20-year-old because that's the emotional level that they're still at. Um, and then they think that 20-year-old is changing their whole point of view on marriage and relationships. And now this old guy wants a relationship finally. He wants to settle down, right? He's willing to marry someone finally. And he thinks it's this young girl. He doesn't realize that he's still the one in charge making the decisions. He could easily have done that 10 years ago if he decided he wanted to. So he waited for some spark of something to finally ignite in him. Meanwhile, it could have been any female still. Could have been any female still. It's not the female that awakens the male's point of view on what he wants, right? It's the man in this situation. It could be flip the switch, like it could be female versus whatever you resonate with. But it's the man's decision whether he wants something or not. It's never someone presenting him a new way of life. Like, think about it. Even if you take marriage out of it, you ever talk to someone that's addicted to something? Let's say cigarettes, just to keep it simple. Someone smokes cigarettes, right? And you're just like, I want this person to quit. I want them to change their mind on how they think about it. They know it's bad. I know it's bad. Everyone thinks it's bad. It's such a good, this is such a good person. They shouldn't be doing this to themselves. And you can try and rationalize a way of thinking for this addicted person to finally see the light, or change their point of view on something, or change their mind, change the way they act, stop smoking, basically. That person will never do that by listening to someone just talk at them. You could have the most profound explanations for them. You can think of every sales pitch, every way of doing it. You could be the smartest person, and nothing that you say or do or show them will ever change their mind. And if anyone has ever dealt with someone who's been addicted to anything, you realize this, because there's support groups for families even that deal with people that are addicted, because the amount of stress and aggravation that happens when you're trying to help someone that won't help themselves. It's like someone drowning in the water, and you take a risk and you swim out into the water with them, and you're like, hey, you're drowning, like, I'm going to take you to the shore right now. And when you try to hold their hand to get them out of the water, they fight you, and they say, no, 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 I want to stay out here, right? But it's like a thunderstorm, there's waves everywhere, and you're like, are you crazy? Like, you're going to die out here. And the person's like, yeah, 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 it's fine, I got it, right? And now you're faced with the fact of, like, you're rationalizing with them, like, they know it's dangerous, it's dangerous. Now you're risking your own peace and well-being and health and life to rescue someone, and they're fighting you, and they don't want to come to shore. You have to swim back by yourself and admit that some people don't take help. So I don't know why I'm going off on this tangent, but relating it back to deciding whether you want a relationship that's real or not, it's up to the person, it's up to the man. Like, it's never going to be the female. It's never going to be this 25-year-old girl that immediately wakes up a 50-year-old's heart and says, you know what, I want to be married now. It was never the female. He was delaying his own maturity the entire time, and he just decided with this one that he was going to change his mind, but he changed his mind still. It wasn't the female, if that makes sense. So it's like, whether or not you're like willing to change yourself to get to where you want to go. Do you want it the fake way? It's, if you just want to go around life and treat people like dolls, like they have no feelings or insides, go after what you want, be completely, we have the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles. Depends on what you decide as happiness for you. This is a pure decision on how you get to the Ten of Pentacles and happiness. You can force it and fake it and completely just be selfish, and just use people as pawns, very Machiavellian, and just realize that you're never going to have anything truly inside of you that sparks any sort of heart-based feelings, any kind of like security in life. You're just going to buy your way through relationships. There's a price to that, and that's at the end of your life. No one's going to care about you, and you're not going to care about anyone else because you never gave yourself the time to think about anyone else but yourself. Or you can go around, being focused on your money, and getting where you need to go, but treating people with kindness along the way to get to where you're going, to what makes you truly happy. And if that what makes you truly happy is finding some sort of commune of people, whether it be a family or whatever life you want for yourself, involves relationships, and it involves healthy, nurturing relationships. That's what's going to make you happy. You see how everyone's looking up into the light? Ace of Swords. This is very cutting, true energy here, 2121 on the clock. So you know the truth of what you want. If you just want to take the downstairs route with the devil to see if you can like get somewhere faster in life, good luck trying to beat the devil. He's got a good game. So like you think like the devil's gonna give you a good deal also? Come on, people. So when you start really thinking with your brain, when you actually start telling yourself the actual truth, the Ace of Swords, the cutting truth. The sword has two different sides to it. What side do you want to sharpen to get where you're going? So you're very focused right now. There's a lot of focused energy with you. So what else? What are we doing here? Decisions, holding back, coming towards you, procrastinating, indecisive. So there's a lot of decisions to be made here, obviously. Which way do you go? We have air signs. It's all about mental activity and decision making as well. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Justice, again with two sides. Maybe there's legal matters that you're dealing with. There's a divorce. There's two roads that you need to focus on. What's this truth about? There's terms and begging, negotiating. There's risk involved. If you're negotiating any sort of salary or work, just remember that if you show too much of your cards at once to the wrong person, they could use it against you. It's difficult because you want to tell people how you feel and your intentions, but if you come from a certain place and you say something that you shouldn't, it could backfire on you with the wrong person. It's like the typical scenario of like guys saying like, well, I don't open up emotionally because the person that I chose to open up to, she was a bitch and she used all of my emotions and negative feelings against me in the end. So now they cut themselves off from any female because they think every female is the same. So it's such a huge detrimental effect from that one scenario of one person that they chose. Not every single person is going to treat you like that, but you have to just be aware of the possibility of people using what you give them against you until you know who they are. And until you know who someone is, you hold back certain information. Just hold it to your chest until you realize what kind of person they are. If you risk giving away too much information to certain people, they won't take it the right way. They'll use it against you. They'll try to point fingers at you. They'll judge you without even really understanding what they're judging. Stuff like that. So There's some sort of reminiscing here. If you've made a mistake with this, just give yourself a little bit of leeway to make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes still. We're not perfect, and we can't be perfect in our decision making all the time. When we fail at something, there's a lot of lessons to be learned. And if you're smart enough, you won't take the failure as a personality dig. You just take the failure as a lesson. And even though that sounds really annoying and cheesy, if you're smart, there's lessons in everything, and you gain every time you fail that way. You gain a lesson, you gain knowledge, you gain wisdom, you gain something that you won't do next time. So whatever it is, sometimes you have to take the risk. Just know that if whoever you're dealing with, right, just be careful of people like this that are in their devil energy. They might use something against you. But it looks like there's some sort of justice happening around you with work and relationship and security, mostly with the truth. And it's going to come out, but just be careful who you expose all the information to at this time, right? Queen of Swords is definitely careful with how she speaks. Three of Swords. Be diplomatic around people that might have done you wrong at this time. Be careful, because there might be someone coming around you that is going to stir up things in you or try to get you flustered on purpose. And just remember to stay in this kind of energy, in the light, looking at exactly what makes you happy, looking up, looking at the sun, looking where you're going. Be like the Queen of Swords. You know, she's very cutting and she's very smart in her decision making, and also she's very good with her words. So sometimes being good with your words is not saying words. Don't say everything. Don't get caught in some kind of Three of Swords atmosphere. There might be something around you that's going to trigger you. So you have to be careful, because you can't take back words when you say things to people, right? Hold things to your chest. Four Pentacles. And now we have the Knight of Wands. So we have the Knight of Pentacles and Wands. You can take charge by just holding things to your chest, you know, and if you have enough if you can self-control to remain steady and focused on doing good, especially around people that are going to test you and trigger you, if you can stay steady while people are testing you, hold your feelings to your chest, don't reveal things from your mouth at this time, you know, just almost give back to them in a way. Six of Pentacles, that shows like, I will take your ill behavior, I will take your negative energy, I will take your strategy of whatever you're trying to do here, and I'll alchemize it and give it back to you in a caring way. So I win because, one, you didn't affect me, and two, I made it into something where it shows where I'm coming from. You know, you're coming from a place of love and charity, right? When you give love, even in absence of love, that's where your power really remains. And it's not about accepting any kind of bad, bad anything to happen to you, but when you remain in a loving state, no matter who's around you triggering you, just hold things to your chest. Don't let words slip out of your mouth easily. There is justice with the truth. You're going to find some sort of secure attachment that's really going to make you happy. You're going to know it because it's the absolute truth. You're in a place where you're going to be very smart with who you entertain, but you're in a place of charity, and charity, that's charity for yourself first, and then everyone else around you also benefits from being kind to yourself because you're kind to other people. You're not taking from other people, you're not using other people, you're not fighting with other people, and you certainly won't be triggered by other people when they come to you. You are the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles. You know, like this is someone that is very smart, that's headstrong. It's slow and steady when it's a race. You know, there's a lot of investment in yourself, and with that, it comes the smarts not to speak, especially when someone's trying to trigger you. So, this is what I get from this read. I hope that you're staying true with where you're going and not getting pushed off balance by anyone around you. Remember, it's a choice that we make. You can either go upstairs or downstairs. It's up to you. Leave it there.